What's good, y'all? It's the Demouchets REACT, and we're back with another video. Who we got today, C?
Today we're back with another American reaction. So excited about this video. If you're new to us
and we new to you,
make sure you scroll down,
hit that subscribe button,
and turn on the post notification bell
because we're on the road to 200K.
And we cannot get there without you guys, alright? Join the family without further ado. Let's get into the video.
Let's get it.
Outback Brazil opened its doors in 1997, less than 10 years after its debut in the US.
Australian barbecue, it's a new experience, and consumers valuated this kind of experience because it's a one typical experience of another country.
At the time, there were only 11 international Outbacks in Canada, Korea, Mexico, Philippines, and Aruba. By 2005, Bloomin' Brands, under its former name Outback Steakhouse Inc., had about 140 international stores, of which 12 were in Brazil. Quickly, the Latin American country proved to be crucial for the company's success. A year later, Outback Steakhouse, then called OSI Restaurant Partners, was acquired by private equity firm Bain Capital and Canada Management for $3.5 billion, or over $40 a share, forming Bloomin' Brands. The company went public in 2012, selling 16 million shares at $11 each. At that time, Brazil accounted for about a fifth of Outback's international footprint. By 2017, that number had grown to 35%. And sales to $377 million across 87 locations, a massive jump from 2013.
We're making money.
However, in the years leading up to the pandemic, Bloomin' Brands' overall sales remained stagnant, seeing little growth and some...
Dang, bruh. Boy, that pandemic hurt a lot of people's pockets.
It did.
Yo, I ain't expect...
others.
In a sense, yes, people was very marketable with it. But come on, man, like... Most businesses, people with nice brands, a lot of things that they was working on went straight downhill, yo. Like,
yeah, but you gotta think about it. People wasn't really trusting food places like that.
Yeah, and you're right, especially food places. Yep, all the lobbies was closed. DoorDash and Uber, and people had to wear COVID masks.
Yeah.
It's crazy. It was crazy times, man.
Years even declining. At the start of 2020, reports started spreading that Bloomin' was divesting from the Brazil market, partly to streamline its operations and bolster margins.
The company started down the path of pursuing new ownership structures and potentially finding a licensed partner that could operate the brand, and it would allow them to extract some value and monetize the business while maintaining an ownership piece.
Outback's operations in the country were estimated to be worth $472 million. However, those plans fell through. CNBC reached out to Bloomin' Brands, but the company declined to participate. For Bloomin' Brands, as with most restaurant chains, the pandemic hit hard, with dropping revenues and tumbling stock prices. However, within a year, the Brazil segment had bounced back, and that return reflected in the company's stock.
Just to frame it, in the US, most casual diners and per store sales volumes are up 8 to 10%. Call it, give or take. If you look at their Brazilian units, they are up in the mid-20s.
Even with COVID and the economy recovering here, there's still a strong demand for these restaurant chains. U.S. exports of consumer-oriented products, which some of these products are going to these restaurant chains. This number has increased. It did not decrease during COVID in 2020.
While a surprise to some, the American twist on Australian-inspired barbecue has worked well in the country well known for its traditional barbecue culture. In the past decade, Brazil has witnessed a rise in purchasing power from an expanding middle class. The country is the largest consumer market in Latin America, with about 50% of its over 213 million population considered middle class, a group which spends considerably on dining out.
There's an increasing disposable income and purchasing power of the middle class, which allows them to spend more on eating out. And there's a positive reputation and brand recognition of U.S. restaurant chains here, which are seen as trendsetters and providers of high-quality services and products.
Initially starting in major cities like Sao Paulo and Rio de Janeiro, today, Outback Brazil is all over the country. At the end of 2022, with 139 stores, the $405 million in sales accounted for about 16% of Outback's global sales.
I think they still have a concentration of stores, pretty high concentration that's in Sao Paulo and Rio. And so it would seem that there still is a unit growth opportunity. Obviously, those are the densest population centers there, but it does seem that there's still an opportunity in some underpenetrated areas within the country.
Outback's success in Brazil isn't unique to just the American company. Over the years, The country's full-service and quick-service restaurant penetration has been prolific. While iconic American fast food brands like McDonald's, Burger King, and Subway have a large presence in Brazil, they've struggled during high inflationary times. In a survey conducted by Mintel, a market research company, 35% of Brazilian respondents have used more promotional discounts in response to rising prices. That number jumped to 52% for quick-service restaurants like McDonald's, up to 66% at American dine-in restaurants like Outback, which offer things like Billabong Hour, or half-price drinks, and bundle entree meals starting at just $20. But it's not just affordability driving locals to Outback in Brazil. There's also a shift amongst younger consumers to accommodate for a more modern lifestyle.
Talk about an energy that it's tapped into and sort of a chicness of the brand. And, in certain ways, that's how Outback was in the early days here in the U.S., where they had very long lines in the 80s and 90s. Back in the day. And
Outback's footprint in Brazil is strategically placed in highly concentrated areas such as shopping malls, downtowns, and city centers. Take its Sao Paulo location, home of the largest Outback Steakhouse in the world. Not only is it one of the most densely populated cities in the country, but it's also in the southeast region of Brazil, with some of the highest average earnings in the country, similar to Rio de Janeiro and Brasilia. While location and menu promotions play a critical role in Outback's hold in the Brazilian food zeitgeist, another factor is the chain's theming. As local consumers have returned to dining out post-pandemic, they're looking for new experiences like themed restaurants, which have a massive appeal nationwide. In South and Southeast Brazil, themed restaurants are highly sought after by younger consumers, such as university students.
When U.S. restaurant chains can create an atmosphere that keeps people engaged and wanting to stay within that environment, then they become successful because the people that are eating at those restaurants can enjoy the company of their families and friends.
Nah, cool fact, man. I don't care how great the food is. If you put the same product in two different buildings, one with a crazy theme and one with an all-white wall hospital vibe, people are going to the one with the theme.
Yeah.
Why? Because colors make people more enthusiastic. They want to be more engaged when they see stuff like that. So that's very important to know.
Yeah, and also it has that sleek, modern vibe to it, you know. And this generation is all about the aesthetics.
Right.
Okay.
And they're going to take a picture, too.
Yes, and
So
they're
you
putting
can't
it
miss
in
that.
areas where their audience is.
Yep. Facts.
Brazil's food service industry faces some challenges as it continues to recover from the pandemic and price hikes from inflation. In Q2 2023, same-store sales at Outback Brazil jumped over 18% from the quarter the year prior, and traffic declined by 4%.
Oh.
Compared to its domestic counterpart, the US saw a stark difference with little growth, both in sales and traffic. As for its parent company Bloomin' Brands, it continues to see share prices recover from its pandemic lows of just over $4 a share to over $28 a share as of late August 2023. Share prices saw a rise earlier that month as activist investor Starboard Value, a company involved in turnarounds such as Papa John's and Darden restaurants, acquired about 9.9% of Bloomin' shares.
The stock has been somewhat range bound, and there's been different reasons for that. That pre-pandemic period, it was one of challenged same-store sales at times, or inconsistent same-store sales at times, a little bit below average margin profile as well.
Outback Brazil is vital to Bloomin' Brands, and with that, the question remains, is the chain diversified enough? 83% of Bloomin's international sales is from Brazil, and it's nearly half of its entire global footprint.
And there were also moments in time where there would be local events, say in Brazil, that caused disruption in the business and same-store sales volatility. It sort of had at times, it was a source of frustration. They rarely got credit or the benefit of when things were going well. And then when there would be one of these disruptions or unexpected hit to the business, the stock would often respond negatively to it.
Right. Yeah, bro, if you got your stock in one of those new restaurants that popped up in your area, you got a good chance of making good money. But, like, when that stuff starts to decline, yeah, they're going to milk you.
Will it survive?
Will it survive?
Yeah.
We've seen plenty of restaurants not survive like that, too. Where they just say, we have to sell it.
Yeah. So this was a little different take of Brazil's food culture. You know, we didn't know that you all were so welcoming to outside culture food.
Oh,
Because in some cultures they are not. You
Right,
know,
right.
so businesses may fall. Like we saw Starbucks.
Yeah.
Where that was somewhere in Europe.
It's somewhere in Europe, if I'm
Somewhere
not
in
mistaken.
Europe where it was like, we ain't feeling it. Italy.
They coffee.
Italy? I
I don't know, but their coffee culture was totally different from Starbucks. And they didn't like the fact that Starbucks was just putting up and setting up shop in every corner.
Yeah, yeah. But Brazil was welcoming. That was
Yeah,
different.
yeah. Facts. I like it.
All right, y'all. We hope you guys enjoyed this video with us. Be sure to subscribe. We'll see you soon.
Peace.